Greetings and welcome back to the bench for the second episode. The first episode kind of building the BMW 320i Driftmissle. We're calling it the Driftmissle, I don't know why. But it's sort of a project. It's sort of a project, yeah, that's right. 4-door body here, because we're building a teenager's drifting vehicle. Guy who likes to drift competitively on the weekends and then use the same car because he doesn't have a lot of money to drive his everyday stuff. So yeah, I'm just kind of trying to figure out this build here, starting with the interior. Gonna actually just put the body aside for a while, take out the interior tub, and yeah, just break into this thing. The first matter of business is to get this off here and put in the seats, see how they fit. So this is the stock seat here, and it fits like this, which is quite good. I've actually looked at some reference photos online, so height wise this should be okay, but it actually seems to sit kind of low, but that's just the way it is in the car, I guess. So here's the aftermarket Fujimi set seat that I have. I still need to drill out the holes for the seat belt. The harness there, shoulder harnesses, and it's a lot smaller, as you can see, than the stock seat, or it's not nearly as wide. Sorry. Well, the seat back seem to be of similar height. It's actually a bit lower though. But as it sits in the car, it's actually really freaking low. And yeah, you see that shit? That's way too low. So I need to build some sort of bracketry that goes in the bottom here to raise the seat up a little bit. Luckily, this is supposed to represent a Recaro seat, I guess, because it has Recaro stickers with it. Recaro, sorry, decals. Did not mean to say stickers there. It was a Freudian slip, I guess. But yeah, luckily I have actually installed Recaro's bucket seat racing seats in a car before in real life, so I know what the brackets that come with the seats look like, and I'm gonna try and replicate those in 1/24 scale. A little bit off the measurements because I'm just gonna freehand the shape of it on a piece of paper and then trying to make it in styrene as well. Okay, so weird camera angle here. Done a template of the actual seat bracket as I remember it. Just the uprights, like so. Probably change this. Yeah, just the upright. You can hardly see it there. I'm not doing this. It should have a little bit of a curve to it like this, and then of course a 90-degree angle to bolt it down. But I'm just doing the uprights like this, and I'm making them from this A4 sheet of really thin styrene. I can't remember how thin it was, but I think it's like a millimeter or so, 1 millimeter. And yeah, now I just got to trace out a couple of these pieces, and I got my bracket sides like that. And once I have that done, I'm just gonna make a plate that goes under the entire seat and do a little bit of a rise like that. First I need to cut these guys out. Sorry you can't see anything that I'm doing. Well, this is actually quite fiddly. So one like that, and then another one This is this is epically small. Now I could just make a plate riser for the entire thing to raise the seat a little bit, but I'm doing this because I can, because I don't know, it just looks a little cooler, and also, yeah, nobody's ever gonna see it, but I just want to do it. But anyways, and just like that, the seating bracket has been made. I glued it onto the riser. It may be a little bit too tall actually for the actual seat to sit in the car, after looking at some reference pictures, but luckily, like the real thing, this is quite adjustable, so I can like slide it up and down as much as I want, and it should be able to fit just fine. So now that that's ready for paint, the next issue I have to think about, and I've been doing a lot of thinking on this, I have to close up these holes. Not this one. Oh, I'm gonna close up these holes as well. These holes right here. I've decided, after looking at some reference pictures again, that I'm gonna leave this as it is like this. I'm not gonna put the center console on, and also on the dash here, this little piece here with the automatic transmission thing, selector, can't speak, where the selector lever goes. I'm gonna cut that area off because a lot of guys often have taken that out as well, and that actually makes it a little bit easier to convert this into an into a manual car. And I ripped this gear lever out of a old spare parts model that I have, and I'm gonna chop this up a little bit and make a straight shift lever to glue it straight into the hole there, make it look like it's a manual car. And then I have to take the handbrake lever. We're gonna have to fashion that into some sort of a drift stick, which I will show you guys and talk more about when that happens. And also, I'm going to try and fashion the handbrake so it appears to be a so it appears to be a hydraulic handbrake lever, just by adding basically a couple of hydraulic lines going from the lever and into the center console or someplace here. I'm not going to be bothered with building them on the underside or under the chassis, the hydraulics line that is, or maybe we'll see. I don't think so though. But anyways, yeah, so gonna start filling these up, and then we also have to go start thinking about some color, like what was the original color of this vehicle, because the inside floor pan needs to be sprayed in that color, and I'm kind of thinking silver, but it's still an idea that I'm tumbling in my head, so we'll see. Right, so I got you guys zoomed in real close to what I'm currently working on, which is the hydraulic handbrake handle. And I just thought I'd show you guys this real quick. I was kind of bored the other day, and I didn't really turn on the camera, but I was looking at some interior photos of the 36 cars that had been drift modified, and I found this really cool shift lever or gear knob, whatever you want to call it, which is kind of like a green dildo, see-through acrylic or something. So yeah, I had a little experiment, and I made this guy. So this is just a flower wire here underneath, goes all the way up through the shift boot. This is an old shift boot from a Revell Dodge Viper kit that I got as a Christmas present when I was a kid. And I did some stretching on some clear sprue, and I came out with this clear plasticky gear knob, trying to get a little bit more light on there. It's not working so good. But yeah, so this is, at least in my opinion, kind of cool looking, and I will be putting it into the BMW. And also, I'm currently working on this, the hydraulic handbrake lever, and kind of cut out this rough shape from I think it's a 1mm sheet of styrene that I got, stock styrene, and trying to like incorporate a little bit from my work buddy's car, and he put a little wrench on top of his handle to make it a little bit longer, taller, and easier to reach. So I have carefully removed one of these little wrenches from my Fujimi tool set that I have done an unboxing on earlier. Showed it in some sort of rambling video at some point, but at least yeah, anyways, rambling here. So yeah, I added this little whatchamacallit, wrench there, and I'm gonna glue that stuff on, and I think this makes a really cool looking drift handle, drift stick as they call it, I guess. And another thing that I did was this little roll bar you see before you right here, where I was at lunch at work, and I was thinking, what if I could take a 2.5mm welding wire and scratch build some sort of a roll cage out of that. So I had a little bit of an experiment of how this would weld together, and I tried some little flux work here. Didn't work out quite as nice as I had hoped. Kind of melted the wire a bit, so it did just pure flame on this one. You can't see, but yeah, as you can see, the weld broke on me when I was trying to adjust the stuff, and it's really dark and not really picking it up there. But yeah, I thought this is a viable option, and so the next day at lunch I did another one, and this is the end result of that. Pretty decent welds, if I say so myself, especially considering this is 2.5mm thick welding wire that I'm using, and I'm welding it to itself basically. But I made this little roll cage for my Raptor truck. That's this Raptor truck, and I think it looks pretty cool on there, like that. And yes, this Raptor is unmodified. This is just as it comes out of the box stock, a snap kit from Revell. And I do plan on building something awesome out of this, and this is the first step to that awesomeness. We'll see later on what happens with this. But anyways, this is proof of concept that I can actually weld the welding wire to itself. And hopefully I'll manage to build a full-on roll cage for the interior tub for the BMW. But of course, since I'm doing this at work, it will be kind of hard to make a video on that. But I don't know, maybe I'll do it on a Saturday, go in at work and bring the GoPro with me or something. We'll see about that. Okay guys, so I think I'm gonna end this video right here, and just a quick recap of what we've done in this episode. Well, it might not have been the most interesting episode, actually, just kind of jumping over rocks a little bit, but we got the interior kind of sorted out. We filled in the holes that I'm not going to use in the interior tub. and we picked out the seat. Made a seating bracket for it. Seat bracket for it. Just need to paint that. And I got bored and made this little custom shift knob that I showed you guys like a second ago, I guess, but it's been a couple of days for me. Isn't that pretty? I'm actually really proud of that. And last night I finished the custom hydraulic handbrake. You can see the little thing, something black, or yeah, got the little wrench there, got the little arm. I put some holes in it just because I thought it might make it look a little bit more cooler. And then we got the bracket for it. Oh yeah, I forgot, I still gotta put a little pivot pin in there or something. I got the master cylinder here. These white things are the fittings for the hydraulic lines, which I will put in after I glue this into the interior. And if you look closely, you can see there's a little push pin there, or a actuator that goes inside the master cylinder and works it. I accidentally made it a little bit too short, so there's a little bit of a gap there, and as you can see, nothing straight. But I'm pretty proud. This is one of my first attempts of actually scratch building something. But I will sort out this little gap with a little bit of super glue, I guess. Little something just to bridge the gap. And then when I once paint it silver, we won't notice a thing. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna call it an episode because we've been on long enough, I guess. On the next episode, which I have already accidentally begun doing, but I haven't started filming yet, I made some measurements on the interior for the roll cage, and I've decided this is the midsection design that I'm going with. Sort of like the center cross doubles as a seat belt or harness anchor as well. And here are the measurements for the side pieces that I've done. So yeah, it's just a rough sketch, and I'm gonna be mocking it up with this tiny little wire here, which is not thick enough to be an actual roll cage, I believe. This is the thickness that I'm gonna be using for the actual roll cage. But I'm still gonna mock it up with this piece of steel and see how it looks. And I don't know, maybe if I like the way this looks, even though it's so thin, I might still use it. But as of right now, this is only meant as a mock-up pin, and this is the material that will be used in the end. So yeah, I don't know how thick this is. I'm guessing 1.5 mil. This is 2.5 millimeters in thickness. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and keep on modeling, keep having fun. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Yellow fingers.